Hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel, liking my videos and commenting on my videos, guys. Thanks a lot. So today in this video, let's try to understand planet Rahu placement in the second house of your astrological birth chart and what are the kind of results that are associated with this placement. Apart from this, I will also going to cover up the special aspects of Rahu, because in whichever house Rahu is posited in your birth chart, it is going to aspect 5 places away, 7 places away and 9 places away. So what is the overall scenario, overall results this placement is going to provide you, I'm going to explain in this video. First of all, you have to have basic understandings regarding the planet Rahu and the second house in Vedic astrology. Only then you will be able to relate these two things. On one hand, if I talk about regarding planet Rahu in Vedic astrology, Rahu represents the obsessions that are present inside you. Obsession towards gaining more and more, materialistic needs, that kind of a desires, that kind of a wishes that you are having to get that kind of a luxurious lifestyle. Because Rahu, it is a karka or significator of all the materialistic things. Apart from this, Rahu represents the technologies that we are using nowadays. You can look into your smartphone, there are a lot of applications installed over there. So that technological part, that thing is also governed under Rahu. Because nowadays in the 21st century, every world and every nation, it is connected with some other world or some nation. So that is why Rahu is governing all such kind of a things. Even the internet, that kind of a thing is also governed under this planet. Apart from this, it is a very mysterious planet, very mysterious. Because Rahu is always looking for the shortcut methods to obtain the chief objective goal of their life. So that is a very beautiful entity, because it somewhere it represents the cleverness, the sharpness of your mind, the tips and tricks which you are using for your sustenance. That thing is purely governed by Rahu. And on the other hand, the second house in Vedic astrology, it represents your Kutumb Sthana. It represents your family values. It is the house of your family before marriage and family after marriage as well. Some kind of a wealth, money perspective, it is also seen from the second house. Second house also represents your mouth, your communication style. So it is quite an important house in Vedic astrology. So whenever planet Rahu comes in contact with the second house, first of all, these individuals, they have to suffer a lot in their initial childhood days. Some kind of a detachment from their parents, that is completely seen with this kind of a Rahu placement. Because Rahu placement in the second house, it is always going to take you away from your homeland to settle somewhere in some different part of the country, or maybe settlement in some other abroad nations or some kind of a foreign lands. Because Rahu energy in the second house, it means the relationship aspect with your family members, that is not very cordial. And even the childhood days, it shows lot of sufferings that are connected with your childhood days as well. Apart from this, second house represents your communication style, because it is the house of your mouth, how you speak. So that kind of a cleverness and diplomacy, that thing is also governed by this Rahu. Because whenever they try to speak something, it is going to be a very diplomatic talk. Like they want something from you, that is why they are telling you this thing. So that kind of a selfish attitude, that is governed by this placement. Even the lot of greed, hunger towards acquiring the money and materialistic things, that is purely present inside this Rahu. Because Rahu in the second house, these individuals, they are very hungry and greedy towards acquiring the materialistic gains in their life. And on the other hand, Ketu in the 8th house, that Ketu is taking them away from the materialistic side towards the spiritual aspect of the life. And that is why these individuals, they have to suffer a lot in maintaining a balance between the materialistic side and the spiritual side. Because that kind of a tug of war, that is always going inside in their life. Whether I will go for this thing or whether I will go for that thing. Because Ketu's energy in the 8th house, it shows some kind of obsessions towards acquiring the lot of gain and knowledge of the occult sciences, mysticism, astrology. And Rahu aspect on the Ketu as well, its 7th aspect. It is going to amplify that kind of a thing in your life. You know, the level of curiosity is very high inside this Rahu. Also, I will tell you, Rahu placement in the second house, it is aspecting your 6th house as well. From its 5th aspect, it is going to aspect your 6th house of your enemies as well. So some kind of a destruction of enemies, that is completely seen with this Rahu placement. Rahu is going to destroy all your enemies with this placement. But the bad thing with Rahu placement in the second house and its aspect on the second house, sorry, sixth house, it is going to give you a lot of disease in your life. Lot of unwanted disease, especially diabetes, even the disease related to your stomach, bad stomach, indigestion of food, constipation, and these kind of diseases, they are naturally seen whenever Rahu is posited in your second house. Apart from this, with its ninth aspect, planet Rahu is aspecting your 10th house. And 10th house, it is the house of your career. It is the house of your career environment. So in that way, Rahu's ninth aspect, the energy of the Rahu in 10th house, it is going to amplify your qualities. These individuals, they receive a lot of name, fame, and recognition in their career environment as well. Because Rahu aspect on the 10th house naturally make these individuals very, very hardworking. Because here shortcut methods are not going to work in their life. Rahu placement in the second house, they always have to work hard and hard. The smartness of the planet Rahu, that is somewhere absent whenever it is connected with your second house. Because Ketu on the other hand, in the 8th house, it acts as some kind of obstruction in your life. Because 8th house, it is the sudden ups and downs in your life. That kind of a sudden ups and downs in your mental emotions as well. So that kind of a mental instability, that is purely connected with this placement. Because in Vedic astrology, your first house, that is your ascendant, your 5th house, that is the house of your intelligence as well, and your 8th house. These houses are going to impact you more than any other houses in Vedic astrology. The planets that are posited in that houses, that are going to impact you a lot. And especially that Ketu placement in the 8th house, it is going to impact you a lot in your life. Apart from this, at some point in their life, these individuals, they tend to seclude themselves from the herd. Like they tend to move away from the nation, whole the country, whole the society, and they tend to stay away in a very secluded kind of environment. Because Rahu placement in the second house, it is taking you away from the whole perspective of the world towards some kind of a secludedness. You tend to live alone, do some kind of a research of your own. That is seen with the Rahu placement in the second house. Also, I told you, these individuals have to stay away, like they have to settle away from their homeland in their life. So the number one reason behind that thing is Ketu is also posited in their 8th house. And 8th house, it is the house of your in-laws as well. So the relationship with the in-laws, that is also not very, very cordial. Because Rahu and Ketu axis in your astrological birth chart, it represents the pending karmas that are associated in your life. Although in the second house, you are going to receive a lot of name, fame, recognition, wealth, money, and everything. But let me tell you, you are not going to receive that kind of a love from your family members. That kind of a support system is absent in your life. Because Rahu is going to exaggerate your greed, and because of your own cleverness, you are going to repel a lot of individuals from your life. And that is why it is very, very important to understand this Rahu placement. Especially if this Rahu is in conjunction with some malefic planets, especially Mars, Saturn, even the Sun. If these planets, they are conjunct and then Rahu is posited in the second house, I will tell you, lot of sufferings are seen in their life because of their family members as well. Because of their own nature, they have developed that kind of scenarios in their life. Because these individuals, Rahu in the second house, they don't know what to speak or when to say that kind of words. They don't have that kind of empathy or sympathy towards other individuals. You know, that kind of emotionless being, like lack of emotions are purely seen with this placement. And that is not their fault. That is because of their sufferings which is connected with this placement. They have molded themselves into such kind of a person who is not going to show that obsessions, show that emotions in front of the world or front of the society. Because Rahu don't want to hurt the same person again and again. That is why they always try to hide their emotions. Even if they are feeling bad, they will not be going to tell you upfront, like I'm feeling bad in my life. So that is why it is a very karmic placement, especially with the malefic planets. Apart from this, if this Rahu, it is posited in the fiery signs, that is Aries, Sagittarius, and the sign of Leo. Then some kind of a obsession towards eating a lot of junk food as well. That kind of indulgence into the bad habits or the bad activities, smoking, drinking, drinking alcohol and all such kind of things that are purely governed by this placement. Because Rahu, it is a malefic planet and it represents wind, the direction of the wind, it is controlled by Rahu. So the habits of smoking, even the drinking, that kind of a bad habits are purely seen in their life, and that is why their health is going to suffer a lot, because they must have to gain control over their mental emotions. Everything is a secondary part in their life. If you are having displacement, please try to focus upon your mental emotions rather than any other thing in their life, because you are naturally going to acquire each and everything in your life, but the mental peace, that thing is only possible if you are going to do some kind of a meditation and yoga on the daily basis if this placement is posited in your second house. So that's it guys from my side in this video. I hope you like the analysis. If you have any queries regarding your Rahu placement, do contact me at my mail ID. I will respond you back within 48 hours after receiving your email. So till then, please subscribe my channel below and make sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well, where I post a lot of stuff related to Vedic astrology. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye. I will meet you very soon in the next video.